Good day, gentle viewers. Welcome to Scenic My House. The family and I have spent the last not insignificant amount of time trading fevers back and forth. So rather than bother anybody at the regular studio, we're doing it home style today. Please don't mind the mess. This is a literal closet. But regardless, in today's news, Konami is suing about horse girls. Trigun gets an English manga re-release, and we all love LAIN. All that today, alongside a look at the spring 2023 anime seasonal rankings. So without any further ado, I am Tristan Gallant, and welcome to Glass Reflection. Let's jam. Let's start today with a bit of a recap from a week ago, since I've been in various levels of medicinal hell, and I'm actually really disappointed that I missed it when it actually happened. A little over a week ago, a hacker gained access to the well-known list website MyAnimeList and caused the website to be taken down for emergency maintenance. The hacker's goals were not particularly subtle. Their major changes to the website's database included changing the title of every anime to Let's All Love LAIN. The hacker also made every user on the site give glowing reviews of said series. At the time, MyAnimeList made several public announcements that didn't really explain the hack, but they did apologize to users for the inconvenience and said that they were working on a solution. It took quite a few days to actually resolve. You may notice I've been smiling this whole time while talking about it, so why do I find this so hilarious? Well, first off, you probably need to be enough of an old taku to have actually watched the 1998 anime series, Serial Experiments LAIN. It's a series that follows a junior high school student, LAIN, who receives an email from a dead classmate, and begins to immerse herself with a late 90s interpretation of the World Wide Web, to the point where she begins to question the differences between reality and a digital world. This is all before The Matrix came out, by the by. It was pretty groundbreaking for when it aired. And honestly, it's still pretty almost scary with how relevant it still can be. The series is also very well known for being one of those that, to try to put it simply, is not one of those shows that you can really describe beyond that very brief synopsis that I did. So much of this series is steeped in philosophical metaphors. It uses technology that never really existed, but was where writers thought tech might go in the 90s. It's all from a time when the internet was this extremely new thing, and nobody knew what it was going to do. Nobody knew just how much of an effect it was going to have, not just on society as a whole, but specifically kids.
Protocol 7 is expected to allow the seamless sharing of information that will be shared between the wired and the real world. And now, the following message. Let's all love LAIN. 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 LAIN, 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 LAIN.
So hacking MyAnimeList and making everybody all love LAIN, you know, despite the inconvenience of screwing up the site for a couple of days and all of that, is still ridiculously hilarious to me. Because, like, if you ever wanted an excuse to watch this series, this hack kind of put a spotlight on it. The hack itself, some might say, is also a perfect introduction to the kind of weird stuff this series is about. Because I personally love the series, even though I can admit it is not for everyone. By now, though, yes, MyAnimeList has returned to normal and all of the changes that the hacker has made are gone, and everything is fine. Not every show has LAIN in the name anymore, all the scores are back to normal, but I'll leave it to you to determine whether or not that's a positive. Konami has decided to sue Cygames and its parent company over a disagreement about Musume Pretty Derby. For some context, Musume Pretty Derby was a gacha game that was supposed to release back in 2018. It stars a bunch of idle horse girls who also participate in derby races. It's a little complicated, but just go with it. So many others have. To the point where the franchise is now massively successful between adaptations and, of course, the game itself, which launched in 2021 after being delayed to, quote, raise the game's quality, which is not an excuse I'm used to trusting from the video games industry. Since the game's launch, it has earned over $2 billion US dollars as of last March, and during its second anniversary event, the 2-week period where that was happening, it earned another 55 million. Gotcha games, am I right? Frickin' cash cows, the lot of them. So that's a lot of money. A really big pie, so to speak. And apparently, now Konami would like a piece of said pie. Cyber Agent, Cygames' parent company, did say that they were in discussion with Konami about some patent rights for the game system and program. However, neither they nor Konami have publicly stated which patents are in contention here. Least of all, what has been violated to the point of the 4 billion yen that Konami is asking for through its court injunction. From my end, having not played the game, in fairness, I can't quite see what Konami is getting at. Like, the game itself is a Unity engine gacha game. And while Konami has helped publish gacha games in the past, I can't seem to find any, like, conclusive proof that they had any hand in the actual development of this game. That said, since so many gacha games kind of use the same mechanics all throughout, it would not surprise me that even if Konami did not help develop the Musume gacha game, that parts of their mechanical code were still used, hence the patent. Rumor has it that Musume uses a similar system to Konami's Power Pro Baseball series, and that could be the patent in question. So they could just be rightfully asking for payment for use of, their patented technology. Or Konami could have looked at that really big, massive pie and just thought, hey, if we make a big enough stink, we might get a nice, juicy settlement out of it. Who knows? It's not like Konami has been the paragon of righteousness with their business dealings since ever. I'm personally leaning a little bit more towards the latter, or at least a part of the latter. It's like they may have a step to stand on. I feel like it's small, because like it just so happens that Musume is one of the hottest things in the Japanese market right now. It just had this wonderful 2-year anniversary celebration that raked in quite a bit, and now they seem to care about their patent violation. Like, if the patent is valid and they were supposed to get paid, why did something not come up a little bit earlier than this? I'll keep an eye on the story the best that I can and see if anything else comes to light. But it could just, be all sorted out of the public eye with a massive settlement, which I'm sure Konami would prefer. Now, before we continue, I did want to give shoutouts to supporters of this channel over on Patreon. Because yes, this video in this closet is not sponsored, and the more support we get over there, the less sponsors the Glass Reflection will need at any given time. So an immense thank you, especially to patrons like Ahagao Comics, Hector Montemayor, Wago221, City Yamako, Deluxe Flame, Rifen Bonaparte, Ross Emerson, and Omar Showman. We cannot do this without your support, so however much you are able to help, I'm eternally grateful. Dark Horse Comics has announced that they plan to release deluxe hardcover editions of the Trigun manga. This includes both the original manga series, Trigun, which ran back between 1995 and 97, as well as its much longer sequel manga, Trigun Maximum, that was in print from 1997 all the way until 2007. Just to be clear, this is only for special editions of the manga, in a very similar way, I would assume, to what Dark Horse did with the Berserk special editions. Dark Horse has already published Trigun and Trigun Maximum in English previously, but this deluxe edition is just in their oversized format in a wonderful hardcover book with hopefully amazing image quality if those Berserk deluxe editions are anything to go by. It is a good time to be a Trigun fan, and I am actually somewhat surprised that these releases are happening at all. Though perhaps it's not all that surprising, considering how Trigun is now back into public consciousness with the release of Trigun Stampede from earlier this year. This might just be Dark Horse trying to jump onto that particular bandwagon, and I am all for it. At least, I was, until I noticed the major downside with this particular announcement. Exactly how long we have to wait for it. The deluxe edition for the original Trigun does not enter stores until December 5th of this year. Oh yeah, and Trigun Maximum is not set to enter stores until April of next year. which means any excitement that I had upon reading this announcement was instantly dashed. I am no longer a person who is willing to jump onto a hype train like 6+ months before it even comes out, or in the case of Trigun Maximum, almost a full year. Like, no, that is way too long for this hype train to reach its destination. I would much rather just not know about it until either like a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two before it comes out, or better yet, when I could actually buy the thing. I want to have it in my hands, not, some figurative imagination of it that maybe I'll have in a year. I mean, yes, I suppose it's nice to have something to look forward to, but far too often I have seen companies announce things that I want years in advance and then expect me to be like, hey, get excited. Why? It's not here. We'll see how excited I'll get, in December. Until then, it's just a thing. And now we get to the seasonal rankings for this video. It's been a bit of time since we've got to look at any of them, and we are specifically going to be focusing on week 5, which is a little hilarious depending on how things are counted. So number 1 is Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury Season 2, which ended on a stupid cliffhanger. It ruined my whole day, by the way. Not gonna spoil it, but my god. And the reason why I say that this is interesting is because I'm assuming that this number 1 spot is including the episode with the cliffhanger, but we also know from the last time that we did a news video that last Sunday, this most recent weekend, we had a recap episode rather than an actual new episode. Now, considering that Anime Trending usually updates and puts out a tweet of the chart on Sundays, and that is also the day that Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury actually airs, I can assume that this is because of that cliffhanger episode we had 2 Sundays ago. Just happens to be how things line up, which means that the series might actually be due for a bit of a fall because, we got a recap episode. Who's gonna rate that highly? Unless, people just rate the show highly in general, which is fair. I mean, that's what I'm doing. But going down the list, we have Oshi no Ko continuing its absolute supremacy of being redonkulous and not tied down to freaking anything. Skip and Loafer, though, is coming up into 3rd place, which I'm quite happy about. Heavenly Delusion in 4th is hilarious to me. I am now caught up fully on Heavenly Delusion as I sit here, and, for a series that's on Disney, it has a lot of things in it that I would not peg Disney as normally being approving of. Do they know what show they got? Beyond that, Hell's Paradise has dumped down to 5. I can't tell you why, because out of all the shows, I'm not into that one yet. Hell's Paradise has become the show for me that it's I already know I'm gonna like. I already like the type of settings. I enjoyed the characters from the first episode when I did my recap of the entire season. It's a MAPPA series. It's going to be good, though apparently, according to the Anime Trending people, there are other shows that are better. Cool. Glad we got that sorted. Then we got Demon Slayer, Insomniacs After School, and Dangers in My Heart. Don't have a lot to say on either of those. I'm not caught up with Demon Slayer at all, and I've kind of put Insomniacs and Dangers in My Heart on my drop list. I have other things that I've been watching instead, namely number 9 and number 10, which are the reasons why Ray Liana ended up at the Duke's Mansion and my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. I've been keeping up with these for a variety of reasons. Ray Liana had a kind of weird start, didn't really know where it was going. I kind of went with it anyway, but there is a level of, I don't know what it is about some Japanese writers and their take on what some kind of fictional fantasy noble society is like. But I just love their interpretation on it. It's almost like a genre in and of itself where there are certain themes and tropes, but they're very specific to Japanese interpretations of a noble society. So I feel like it's like this weird combinations of things from actual historical, European noble society, and then also things from potentially the shogunate and a bunch of other things that just get melded together. And I just love the flavor of it and how it is written and the things that it shows us. And Ray Liana is a perfect example of that, despite the fact that, I don't know if I actually like the main character. I love the story and the world of the show rather than Ray Liana as a character at the moment. But that's mostly I'm attributing to the fact that she knows what's going to happen-ish. She has knowledge of the entire world because she lives currently in an isekai version of a book she read. That's where she is. That bit I kind of wish wasn't as much in the spotlight, but, you know, it's still a fun watch. And then my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999 is just a fantastic romp. It is upbeat, it is light, it saddens me that it has dropped down 5 positions in 1 week, apparently, because last week it was in the 5th slot, and now it's in 10th, so we'll see if that goes down. And I mean, it was in 2nd place at one point in time, and now it's in 10th. We'll see if it even stays on the list next week. And of course, yes, I am also truly sad that one of my favorite shows from the season, Otaku Elf, is all the way down at 26th. My god. The anime trending people just don't like my flavor of slice of life. Apparently. But that is it for looking at that this week. And of course, that is our video for today. So subscribe if you haven't, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and until next time, whether I am back at the regular studio or still in this closet, watch more anime and stay frosty.